Okay, so let's do a little introduction to adult development if this is something that you haven't come across before. It's basically about how we change and grow as adults. Now, we all kind of recognize that children go from babies to toddlers to older children to adults. But actually, imagine the amount of change that's going on inside their brains, inside their bodies as well. But we can't see all of the changes that happen inside an adult. We kind of assume that people get a bit stuck, and sometimes they do. But actually, it's not just physical change on the outside of us where we get more wrinkles, although that does happen to us all, unfortunately. It's also about the changes that are going on inside of us and our understanding of the world that we're operating in, the way that our consciousness and the things that we can be conscious about actually changes and matures through our lifetime. So basically, adult development is not about facts. It's not about how much you can cram into your head. It's more about your whole way of seeing things and how that evolves, how we make meaning of the world evolves and matures and gets a bit more grown up. Think of it a bit like this. It's not just about learning more stuff, but changing how you understand the stuff you already know and how you relate to it. It's like going from a black and white telly to full HD. You're seeing the world in more detail and colour. You're able to understand things in much more nuanced ways. The journey of adult development involves moving from a more basic way of thinking, and it's all about me, where everything is pretty concrete, to a more complex and flexible approach. You start to see that there are lots of different viewpoints, not just your own, and you get better at putting yourself in someone else's shoes. This helps you build better relationships with others. Here are some of the key aspects to keep in mind. It's about more than just knowledge. It's about changing how you understand things, how we make meaning out of the world, not just about what you know. Perspective taking is key. You start to appreciate that other people have their own valid viewpoints and that the world isn't just about you. Your empathy grows. You become better at understanding and relating to the feelings of others. It's not always a straight line. You might go forwards and backwards a bit, and that's okay. We all have parts of ourselves that have formed at younger ages and get a bit stuck and triggered sometimes, and we show up as not our most mature, wise selves and behave and act out in a way that's not that congruent with who we really think we are. That's just a part of us, an element of us that is coming from a previous stage. Support and challenge are both important in helping you to do that development. If you swap to an environment that is quite challenging for you, that can actually help you over time to develop and grow your capacity, grow your complexity, become a more sophisticated thinker. But while we do that process, that can feel really quite uncomfortable. So support and challenge need to be in the right type of balance so that we can manage any overwhelm that comes up with that. Now, I'm going to share a whole lot more with you about different models of adult development. There are lots and lots of them, and they're so interesting because they can help us to really explore ourselves and understand some of the challenges that we face, particularly if we experience things like overwhelm or high levels of stress. It can be because we need to do some upgrading, and that's the kind of expertise that I've been developing over the last few years, taking advantage of some really cutting edge research, which I will share more with you over time. So the idea of this is not about becoming something other than you are. It's about being your true self, coming back to that essence, that essential self that is within us all, that loving, unconditional, spiritual self, that when we get back to that, that's where we feel like we're truly ourselves. And that sense of freedom and liberation that comes with that is something that I believe everybody should enjoy. And even though, yes, of course, we go through tough times, it is part of our human experience. We all deserve to know what it feels like to drop back into that sense of who we truly are at our core.